My Guardian Angel by Lynn McKinnon of Temora, 2666. Narrated by Rowena Robinson. She knew he was dead before the telegram arrived, shot by a sniper's bullet as he attempted to climb out of the trench. From their humble farmhouse in western New South Wales to the faraway battlefield in Beersheba, she felt his life slip away. Our family sadness was shared with me as a child, sitting alongside my grandfather in the dappled shade of his front veranda, looking up through the hanging grapevines into the peeping sun. I wondered if he was up there. My grandfather's stern voice surprised me as he looked down at me and said, "Don't ever forget, your great-grandfather gave his life so you can have your freedom and enjoy your life." We both loved horses, and I was so used to hearing his exciting stories of them racing across the desert in the battles of the First World War, with the soldiers waving bayonets as they charged the enemy. But I knew he was sad, as my mum had told me about him losing his wife, my grandmother, who died when she was only young. Nobody talked about her, and when asked, Mum told me she was up in the sky with the angels. Angels were a concept I had no time to think about. I assumed they were figments of people's imagination in Christmas carols, or a figurine on my dressing table which my grandfather had given me as a child. My thoughts shifted a little when I was managing a large motel in central New South Wales. I was very busy in reception when I spotted a staff member racing in the front door. "Can you ask the guests if this toy belongs to their kids? I found it on the ground in the car park." Nobody claimed it, and I picked it up to shift it to the lost property. It was made from cloth in the shape of an angel, with its wings raised behind its body. To my surprise, as I touched it, a recorded voice said, "I am your guardian angel." I thought nothing more of it until our farewell party. "You can keep this angel. It will remind you of us." We all had a chuckle as the toy was handed to me, and we all heard the recorded voice again. "I am your guardian angel." No more thoughts of angels, as my life changed completely when I was diagnosed with cancer. 2 years of chemotherapy and treatment after moving to Broken Hill in outback New South Wales. Sickness was my constant companion. My grandfather's advice came back to me from years ago as I glanced at the figurine of the angel on my dressing table. I needed to take his message seriously and fight for my life to keep my focus on living, not dying. Knock, knock. I opened my front door to a lady I'd never met who asked, "Would you like to come to our craft group tomorrow?" It was such a lovely surprise the next day when I met ladies from all over the outback. It was their regular get-together in Broken Hill, as most of them lived very isolated lives, and this was their excuse to share a big weekend together. "You can start on this project," said one of them as she handed me material to start a patchwork quilt. "This will keep you busy for a while." She was right. I was very busy learning how to make a quilt and enjoying their company rather than stressing about cancer. My project progressed with instructions placed in my mailbox if I was too sick to join them. I'd almost finished my quilt. "Well done! Now what are you going to embroider on it?" "Grandma's garden." Those words came out of my mouth, but I wasn't sure why. I only had Nan as my grandmother, with only memories of laying flowers on my other grandmother's grave. Next day, my husband's words shocked me more when he came home from work and said, "Work is sending me to Queensland next month, so we have to move again." It was so hard saying goodbye to my newfound friends, but they assured me they would keep in touch and their advice was to look for another craft group. Loneliness was back, as I had no friends in our new town, no family, no hair, and I was still sick from the cancer treatment. Again, I decided not to dwell on sickness and get myself out and about. This decision led me to the town library, where I asked the library assistant if she knew of a craft group in town. "Certainly do. Follow me and I'll take you to where they meet, just out the back of the library." A group of ladies from all walks of life welcomed me at their craft shed, with one of them asking, "Do you have any UFOs?" and then laughed when I looked surprised. "Unfinished craft projects?" "Oh, yes, my grandma's garden," followed by more chuckles until I explained that I hadn't embroidered my quilt. While enjoying their company, I began thinking how lucky I was in my cancer recovery to have so much support from so many friends. That night I lay in bed in the peace and quiet, looking at the narrow beam of moonlight shining through the gap in the curtains, and curiously asked the universe, "Who is looking after me?" Immediately I saw an image of my grandma's garden quilt, with a quiet voice replying, "I am your guardian angel, your grandma you never met. I died before you were born. I am here for you and all my grandchildren." Her quiet conversation that followed also included family descriptions I had not heard about until I asked my mother, who confirmed what I heard was correct. I knew then I was also being cared for by my guardian angel, my grandma. The end.